Screen addiction. This is a relatively new problem that I'm sure some of us have experienced or at least seen. Although there are many forms that screen addiction can take place, I'll focus on addiction that is facilitated through the use of the internet. Though there are varying definitions of internet addiction, for the purposes of this video, I'll use the definition used in Chapter 95 of the book, Neuropathology of Drug Addiction and Substance Misuse. This chapter defines internet addiction as, quote, excessive internet use that causes significant psychological and social disturbance, along with functional impairment, end quote. From the human perspective, our anatomy plays a role in how addiction is possible. According to a 2018 Harvard article titled Dopamine, Smartphones and You, A Battle for Your Time by Trevor Haynes, our brain contains 4 major dopamine pathways, 3 of which are known as reward pathways. These pathways reinforce behavior and social stimuli through the releases of dopamine. In fact, the same article explains how cognitive research has shown that rewarding social stimuli such as recognition from peers, laughing faces, and messages from loved ones activate the release of dopamine from the major pathways. For example, if you make a post and it receives a lot of laughing emojis and positive affirmation in the comments, then this would activate the release of dopamine and could hook you via the constant reinforcement from the brain. This is just one example for social media like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, which focus on sharing posts with peers, specifically from the poster's point of view. But what about the other side, the people who consume the posts? According to a study titled, quote, Viewing personalized video clips recommended by TikTok activates default mode network and ventral tegmental area, end quote. Some areas of the brain containing dopamine neurons displayed significant activation when watching short videos independent of types. This means that if you just lurk around social media platforms, strictly viewing content on these platforms also heavily activates dopamine activity. And again, these simple behaviors like viewing content are reinforced via the major dopamine pathways. However, both of these human perspectives are worked on by a third, behind-the-scenes tool: algorithms. Algorithms make up a third example of a perspective on screen addiction, that is, the technology perspective. According to the same 2018 Harvard article mentioned before, social media apps use the idea of variable reward schedules, the idea that people respond most frequently to rewarding stimuli when the reward is administered after a variable amount of rewarding response or behavior, such as checking your phone, thus obscuring the ability to predict when the next reward will come. In this case, something like notifications of likes and comments received. It's almost like playing a slot machine. Furthermore, the article explains a 60 Minutes interview that reveals that apps like Instagram hold like notifications and don't send them to a user after each like is received, but rather in larger bursts, a notification detailing a bunch of likes at once. Programmers write algorithms that work on our brains to make us constantly check our phones, hoping that soon enough we'll get new notifications about comments made by our peers and the likes received on our latest posts. A 2019 study titled Smartphone Use and Physical Activity Among College Students in Health Science-Related Majors in the United States and Thailand found that American and Thai college students spend around 3 and 4 hours per day on average on smartphones respectively. If we were to extrapolate this information to a week, that's between 21 and 28 hours spent on a week on a smartphone. But why is any of this important? So what if people become addicted to their phones? Well, it matters because it affects us as students directly. A 2022 study titled Effects of Short Video Addiction on the Motivation and Well-Being of Chinese Vocational College Students found that short video addiction from platforms such as TikTok had a negative effect on intrinsic and extrinsic learning motivation. Another problem lies in our mental health. According to a fact sheet titled Digital Detox Research on a website called It's Time to Log Off, quote, 52% of school-age students said social media makes them feel less confident about their appearance and how interesting their life is, end quote. So not only is our willingness and motivation to learn negatively affected, but so is our mental health. So what steps can we take to combat this? Well, this website also provides a 9-step plan to perform a digital detox. The first step is pinning down motivation. Why detox in the first place? The second step is to choose your objectives, what you consider healthy screen usage. The third step is to set boundaries and rules such as no using screens 2 hours before bedtime. The fourth step is creating a habit of setting your device out of sight. The fifth step is using resources provided by phones to reduce distractions, such as the Do Not Disturb setting on an iPhone. The sixth step is to start by switching your device off. A seventh step is to pace yourself with these habits. They take time to develop and will not happen overnight. The eighth step is to protect sleep when setting detox objectives. The last step is to listen to feedback from other people who have commented on your excessive tech use, and other related feedback such as seeming more rested or less stressed. These are indicators that you are doing well in your journey. That's what we can do to combat screen addiction, but what can apps do? According to a Vox article titled, quote, "Facebook's Empty Promise of Hiding Likes," end quote, Instagram gave users the option to hide like counts after criticism of how social media damages mental health and affects body issues came out. Instagram reported that surveys indicate that removing the like feature didn't significantly impact the well-being of its users, but of course they're going to say that. I propose implementing this feature permanently and more. On top of removing the likes counter, the follower count should also be removed. Moreover, the ability to like comments should be removed as well, since this is more or less the same as the likes feature on posts. The comment count should also be removed to alleviate staying concerned on how viral a post is. Another feature to remove is the reactions feature on stories, where users can rate a post and respond with emoticons or emojis. All four of these ideas work against the stimuli that make social media and like Instagram addictive, such as the emojis or emoticons, and the notifications of large like counts and similarly comment counts. Without these, there are no notifications that can be produced that stimulate the brain. The following figure shows these ideas implemented on Instagram. So in the top left corner you can see the before, so how Instagram is right now. You can still see the amount of likes a post has and how many comments. With the changes mentioned, that would be completely removed. You can still see that you've liked a post, but you wouldn't be able to see how many people have liked it or how many comments there are. If you were to click on view comments, as it is right now, Instagram shows you how many likes each comment has and whether you've liked that comment or not. With the changes mentioned, we would completely remove that. So it would just be the comment. There wouldn't be any likes associated with them. In the bottom left corner, Instagram currently has the amount of followers and how many people you're following showing on your profile. However, removing this would mean that only your posts would be shown. So it'd just be your profile without the follower or following count. Moreover, with the stories that Instagram has, it currently has a feature where you can rate posts aside from liking them. So you can like them, but you can also have like a sort of polling that are associated with emojis. So in this example, this guy has 99 fire emojis, which means that cool post or something like that. And it has 4 sick emoji. So maybe these 4 people don't like this post. Removing this would have just the post and whether you've liked it or not, and the comments, just like with any other post. So it'd be more akin to a regular post. Now, why would these implementations work? Well, remember the Harvard article mentions that social stimuli such as recognition from peers, laughing faces, and messages from loved ones activate the release of dopamine in the major pathways. So by removing the numerical values associated with these categories, people would be less likely to check their phones and notice, oh, I have a notification that says I have 50 new followers or 50 new likes. By taking away the numeric value of these categories, there would essentially be no reason for notifications and thus no notification. This would take away from the slot machine mechanisms implemented in Instagram right now. So without taking away too much of the functionality of Instagram, these are the implementations that I would put. For things such as short videos that Instagram has right now, similar functions would be implemented, so removing the like counters and comment counters and the like.